Pilates is a type of exercise that focuses on strengthening your core muscles or making sure that they are switched on and working whilst we do other exercises that will target the rest of the body. But what exactly is your core? Most people are aware that they are deep muscles that work around this midsection here, but in this short video I'm going to explain exactly what these core muscles are and how to work them, so you'll know how to cue them or give them an instruction to turn on a little bit tighter as we need them. Okay, so here is a picture of all those core muscles working around your pelvis, lumbar spine and rib cage. So can you see we've got this big sheet muscle at the front, we've got thinner muscles that thread their way through your spine, we've got the sling of your pelvic floor muscles underneath, and the coordinator of it all on top is your diaphragm or your breathing muscle. So we've got those muscles that are working around your torso here from the front, from the back, underneath and on the top. So front, back, top and bottom, making a nice cylindrical layer of support. So these core muscles are literally stabilising this section between this big cage of your ribs and the cage of your pelvis, supporting this structure of your spine here. Now, core muscles, these deep stabilising muscles, they have a different role to our power muscles that move us around, so they work differently. Our power muscles, like my biceps here, as it moves my hand towards my shoulder, bending my elbow, it bunches up and puffs out. Your core muscles, their job isn't to produce a movement, they are just holding bones steady, so those other muscles, when they pull on those bones, they've got that firm, stable base to be pulling off. So these muscles, instead of bunching up, they draw in and thin and tighten and flatten like a guide rope, holding the frame of a tent steady. So I'm going to demonstrate this from my abdominal muscles now. If we just let them relax and hang out, I'm going to take a breath in, and on the exhale, drawing in through my core, and you can see how they draw in and flatten. Now, I haven't done that by sucking in or trying to pull in those tummy muscles. It's a very deep inner squeeze feel. So join in with me this time, standing up, placing your hands just around that tummy button area. Take a breath in and blow out like you're blowing out a candle for a very long, slow time, and keep blowing and blowing until you feel or become aware of a deepening squeeze sensation in your tummy. And that is that core abdominal muscle working. But it doesn't work on its own. If you're only trying to feel it in that area, you're missing out on a trick. It's very important to also try and cue the pelvic floor muscles as well. And the pelvic floor is that complicated set of muscles that fill in that base of your pelvis. And as we are upright, they are supporting quite a lot of weight, so they need to be working. So when you're trying to activate through those muscles, because they are not just one muscle but lots of different ones going in all different directions like an upturned umbrella, if you simply just try and cue it through the back passage first of all, drawing in like you're holding in wind, and then try and squeeze through round to the front like you're trying to hold in a wee, you might then feel it joining in with that squeeze of those deeper core abdominal muscles, and we get a much more strong contraction of those core muscles, really holding from inside the pelvis. Okay, so let's try and bring that together once more. So with a breath in, on the exhale, gently blowing out, wink through the back passage, zip through to the front, flattening through the tummy muscles, and just very gently feeling them working, holding things steady. So then that brings me next to the diaphragm, that breathing muscle, that big sheet muscle that goes across our body at the base of our ribs, which works in an up and down action. And it is through there that drives the other muscles to work in. And I was getting you to feel that squeeze of your core when we were breathing out. So just remember that with your breathing. It's on the exhale that you're going to feel that stronger contraction through your core. And that's why in Pilates we are quite prescriptive in when we're trying to get you to breathe in and when we get you to breathe out. But if in doubt at the beginning, just make sure you're breathing and not holding your breath. And one last thing to know about the core is that it really doesn't need to be switched on or switched off. It's a muscle like any other muscle, and it will get tired and sore if we're trying to turn it up to its max all the time, every time. So try and adjust it to the level of your activity. And for instance, if I'm just stood here, I'm not doing very much, it's only a very, very gentle background awareness. And I'm only going to try and engage it more when I'm doing harder exercises.